You're a burrito restaurant, but not really Mexican because you put whatever you feel like in your burritos,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
So, like, remind me of some of your burrito flavors. You got all sorts.
Well, thanks for asking. But we consider ourselves American Mexicans. So the things that make us different are things like our world famous hibachi steak and shrimp burrito, our crispy buffalo chicken burrito, Sriracha pork, things like the General Tso's items, just the flavors that you're common to what people would understand, but we kind of blend it into a Mexican fusion concept, and it's wildly successful because it's so different.
Well, and it's really just shaped like Mexican food. Like you put it in
That's
burritos
right.
and bowls and quesadillas and stuff. Except for your own invention, the Chihuahua, spelled Chiwawa. So that's not even like the dog or the Mexican state. It's just a Chihuahua. And
That's
those are
not the dog.
those are like rice balls, little fried rice balls
Mm-hmm.
with burrito filling scooped on top, right?
You're getting it. Yep, yep. So that item is really withstanding the test of time and growing more and more popular. But in the beginning, the goal was to create some type of something comparable to an Italian rice ball. I am half Italian, and really, it ended up turning into a cheese ball. That was panko crusted, and it ended up getting kind of smashed out and then kind of being loaded with lava cheese or nacho cheese or queso, and then putting basically everything you would on a burrito on top of it. And once we launched that item, people went nuts. So to this day, we sell a lot of Chihuahuas.
And so it's not gluten free because it has panko breading on it.
Correct. That would be accurate. It is not gluten free. We're
Yeah,
not
there's
there yet. We'll get there. We'll get there.
sure. So what are you doing lately? I keep seeing you posting on Facebook about new franchisees you've signed up, and as you said, you're going on 50. And you have what, 8 or 10 corporate stores too?
We have 10 corporate stores to support, most of what we're doing, which honestly is what we need. We have got two corporate training stores. We're trying to get to a third, certified training store. We farm a lot of our opening crew out of those stores. So it's pretty critical that we have these corporate locations in order to foster the franchise growth.
So how does that work? You take people who are working in the corporate stores and you ship them out to the franchisees to show them the ropes as they open?
Sure. I mean, well, it starts with the franchise partner coming to us pre-opening and actually receiving 5 weeks of corporate training, again from a certified store, and that's followed up with weeks after come showtime, where we actually send out certified training crews to see the opening through successfully at their respective location.
So are there unique or unusual operational things that you guys do at Bubbakoos?
Well, it's not so much that it's unique we are very fresh, So the one thing about our brand that is, we're a bit prep intensive. We are working on that, but at the same time, it's kind of what makes us different. The food is excellent. The reason why it's so good is because not everything comes out of a can. Not everything is just cut out of a bag, sous vide. So we do have some items that are, and it does obviously help to expedite opening and preparing for the day. But at the same time, it's there's a lot to understand. There's a lot to know. There's a lot of recipes, and again, that's what kind of makes us different is our fresh factor.
When you guys started out you started out on the Jersey Shore, right?
Correct.
As sort of a beach themed Jersey Shore
Like a shore skater vibe kind of atmosphere. Yep.
right. But now you're all over the place. So have you maintained that Jersey Shore vibe, or is it more of kind of a beach skatery wherever you might be?
Yeah, well, I think its roots are Jersey Shore, but it's more of a surfer skater vibe if you're to walk into one in say Louisville, Kentucky, or Tampa, Florida. But at the end of the day, the roots are always Jersey strong. So
As they should be. You know, even though I live in New York, I'm not from New York, so I don't have that innate dislike of New Jersey. I think New Jersey is really great.
It's a
Uh,
great state. It's
it
it's it's
is.
it's underrated. It's underrated.
Well, you have incredible sandwich culture in your state.
We do.
So that's, is there anything on the Bubbakoos menu that reflects like a Jersey hoagie or anything like that? And if not, maybe you should.
Well, I could tell you that we're working on some things right now,
Oh,
but I'm sworn to secrecy.
you're the boss. You can break the rules if you want. But now I really want a cheesesteak Chihuahua. I think that would be good.
I got to tell you, yeah, cheesesteak. Cheesesteak was an item that was kicked around. Was a burrito, a cheesesteak burrito. So that's been on the drawing board a couple of times. So you might see that in the near future.
Something to look forward to. So where do you have restaurants now? All over the place.
Gosh, yeah, I'm going to say about 14 states is where we're under development. But the crux of our restaurants are in New Jersey. I think we're somewhere in the range of don't quote me, I'm going to say 40 plus restaurants in New Jersey mostly, and then the rest are out of state, Florida, all the way as far west as LA, Las Vegas. Just opened up Kentucky yesterday. I'll be flying out tomorrow for that opening. Yeah, we're getting around. We're getting around very quickly too.
Where in Los Angeles are you? That's kind of a scary place to open a burrito joint.
It is, and ironically, again, it's just one of those things that we seem to be boding very well right now during this COVID era. Most restaurants, almost all the restaurants, are significantly up over last year if they were open a year ago. The fast casual, theme, the brand concept, really seems to be, you know, helping us out. It's really hard to say that, and really hard to let's say boast about that with all of our neighborhood restaurants that are full service that are taking it on the chin so bad. So it's a little bittersweet. We're glad we're successful. We're glad we're doing well. We're glad that we're booming right now. The franchising is continual. There's people signing on routinely, but there's definitely an element in me personally that feels for these businesses that are really struggling.
Absolutely. Well, and you've always been a community centered kind of guy anyway. So are there particular initiatives that you guys have undertaken at
Sure.
Bubbakoos to help your
Well, I
neighbors?
mean, I'd have to say, for the first, well, I'll just go back to COVID, which is the most recent. For probably the better part of the first 3 months, 4 months of COVID, we did have we did have an outreach where if anybody needed to eat, we would provide a meal for free, no, free of charge. So if anybody walked in our doors, they would, we would never charge them if they needed to eat. To be very honest with you, I wouldn't say we necessarily pulled that promotion. If anybody walked through our doors, we wouldn't not feed them.
Right.
But it was pretty much advertised and broadcast, and there was a hotline. I was managing that hotline for many months rather, and I have to say that it was what's the best word I can use? Compelling is probably a good word. It was pretty compelling how many people reached out and were so grateful that they could come by and pick up 4 or 5 meals and and not have to pay because they were struggling. So I'll be honest with you, it's just about doing the right thing. We've been again so blessed, and our communities, we're so tight with most of our communities that we feel like it's the least we can do, in a situation like this.
So a lot of the chains that have been successful during the pandemic are kind of tech companies. They have very advanced apps and they have a lot of integration with their loyalty programs and apps and social media. I think of Bubbakoos as more kind of homespun than that, but maybe I'm wrong. Do you have a lot of high tech stuff going on?
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, we have a great, vice president of finance who happens to be extremely tech savvy, and he's really raised the bar on our mobile app and all the functions of our guest loyalty, and that's been tremendous. So we've transitioned over to basically Bubbakoos 2.0 on the app. We obviously have a tremendous amount of business flowing through third-party apps. Um, but yeah, we've upped our game. If you go down to the Apple Store, the iTunes Store, you could download the newest version of the app. I think you would find it A, very user-friendly, and B, I'd say sophisticated. So, you know, he's keeping us ahead of the game. So you have to, and he's a younger gentleman. He happens to be in his early 30s, but he's quite the wizard.
And what's his name? We might as well give him some
His name is
attention.
Chris Ives, Ives.
Great. So has that been important in your continuing success?
It has, especially again, you know, with the app, with the website, with the digital campaigning. Again, there's so much involved on the IT side that I really didn't understand. But between my partner, who's pretty tech savvy himself, and Chris, you know, it's almost a full-time job.
Right.
Yeah.
But so that shows, though, that you don't have to be a gigantic chain with all sorts of bodies behind. So we have a long year ahead of us. What can your customers expect to see from Bubbakoos Burritos in the next, while?
Wow. Well, it's you're going to see a lot of growth, is what you're going to see. You know, we're slated to open up somewhere in the range of about 35 restaurants just this year alone. And again, the actual circulation of the amount of people who are interested in the concept and the amount of discovery days that we do. We actually hold, discovery days live, where people come in and we show them the product, we show them the brand. So that's going to continue. So you're going to see more franchises signing on. You're going to see You're going to see more media, and you're going to see a heck of a lot more stores open, and hopefully a lot of satisfied guests.
So you've maintained live events even during the pandemic?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, again, we've all been very safe about it. PPE, a lot of social distancing. We've limited to no more than 6 to 8 people a visit, even if we have to spread it out every week, because that's the amount of people that are coming in and that are interested. But again, wearing masks, staying distant, trying to stay as safe as possible, having people drive in their own cars. We used to all bus together in the Bubbakoos, but big bus, but we don't do that anymore. We're just trying to get by, and if somebody's not comfortable with that process, we obviously respect that too, and we could do it via Zoom or have a conversation.
So what are you looking for in a franchisee?
Well, there's a few qualifiers. You need to make it you have to make it through these falling hoops. You need restaurant experience. So we will not really get into talking about being a franchise partner unless you have great restaurant experience, and that could be store level manager for 5 years. That could be business owner for X amount of years, or that could be a franchise owner for X amount of years. So you need the experience. That's a big component. It's actually one of the biggest components. And the second thing is strong net worth. So we look for people that have trusted, net worth, that have good credit. And then we look for people with good liquidity. So we want people that obviously have the money to build their restaurants, and that in the event, it doesn't open up as strong as we anticipate, that they have the capital to hold themselves over until the business is successful and is chugging along.
Makes sense. I mean, I think the main reason for restaurants failing is undercapitalization.
That's right.
They need to know. They need to have like the wherewithal to stand through difficult times.
That's right.
Like we're having now.
Exactly.
Check out nrn.com for more restaurant content.